great timing, this conversation, because we're in season 5 for the SEO Mindset, and we secured a season sponsor.
Oh, very good.
So thank you, Bright Local. Shout out to Bright Local. And yeah, that was a really interesting, because me and Tasman you have to negotiate, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to give reason to your sponsors to want to sponsor you, put money behind you. But one thing that I would say is it doesn't always have to be about your downloads,
right.
Okay? But that's my experience of it. So when I was talking to Bright Local, and we got a recommendation from Claire Carlisle. So Claire Carlisle, local SEO queen. She also works for Bright Local, but Bright Local were looking for podcasts to sponsor. So I have a good relationship with Claire. She's a pal, and she obviously knows what I'm trying to achieve and do with this podcast, and she's behind it and supports it. So she put us forward. And the conversation was really interesting, because obviously downloads was spoken about, but yeah, like, we didn't have masses of downloads. I had to think of other ways of proving my podcast worth.
Right.
And one of that was reach. So I included sort of the following. So my personal Twitter following, how many connections I've got on LinkedIn. We've also grown a great following. So the SEO Mindset Twitter has a good following too. So I included that into the negotiations.
Yep.
But I think something else that swayed it was showing Bright Local what our podcast does for people. So what I did, and this isn't glorious or glamorous at all, but literally every time someone said something nice about the podcast, whether that was a tweet, whether someone shared an episode on LinkedIn, whether someone sent us an email, right? We had a couple of people email us or send us a private message. We literally got a screenshot. I put it into a folder. So I made like a live folder on Google Drive.
A yay folder.
A what?
A yay folder.
Yes. I made a yay folder, and that was part of the negotiations. And I said, look, Bright Local, this is what our podcast is doing. Do you know what I mean? This is how our podcast is helping people with their careers, and it's helping with their careers, but it's also helping with their mental health. It's helping them with their work-life balance. It's helping them lead a healthier, happier life, right? And just having that, I suppose you can call it social proof, right? This is what my podcast is doing. This is what our podcast is doing for other people.